Top 10 Lovecraftian Bosses in Games. H.P. Lovecraft is one of those authors who have carved a niche for themselves and have presented readers with a complete universe full of mind-boggling creatures, each more potent than the other. His creations have served as an inspiration for many horror video games and movies. We have selected the top 10 bosses in video games that have drawn inspiration from the work of this legendary author. So without further ado, let's jump right into the video to learn more about these creatures.
Trapdoors at the foundation of the old city? Yes.
Dagen, Call to Cthulhu, Dark Corners of the Earth. In the town of Innsworth, Father Dagen is worshipped as the primary god by the esoteric Order of Dagen. Alongside his consort Mother Hydra, he is one of the two reigning ruling monarchs. His exact origin isn't known because it hasn't been specified if he is a great old one or an extremely potent deep one. It is also difficult to ascertain whether he is from Earth or if he was a deep one who came to Earth as a part of the invading force alongside Starspawn and Cthulhu. Unlike the works of Lovecraft, Dagen has more followers than Hydra. Dagen attacks the protagonist Jack Walters while he is on a Coast Guard ship, Cutter Urania, after reporting Innsworth to the FBI. Jack goes on to use the main artillery of the ship to defeat Dagen, but whether Dagen succumbed to his wounds or not is unclear. Later it is revealed that he had been summoned by Robert Marsh to Devil's Reef before the attack. The game itself is based on the works of Lovecraft by the same name. In the real world, Dagen was worshipped by the Mesopotamians near modern-day Syria, where he was associated with grain and fertility. He has also been mentioned in the Hebrew Bible, especially in Judges 16, as the main god of the Philistines. It is because of the Hebrew word dag, which means fish, he is depicted as resembling half man and half fish. Lovecraft's immense passion for Arabic and Asian cultures led him to incorporate Dagen into the Cthulhu mythos.
It's the Leviathan. It must have snagged on the comms array after we spaced it. It's not coming off without a fight.
Leviathan, Dead Space. The Leviathan in Dead Space is a necromorph, which means he has an accumulation of dead creatures and appears to have no specific shape. The creature crashed against USG Ishimura while floating through the cosmos in the game. The creature barricaded itself in the food storage facility of the hydroponics deck. Right after that, the tracks of corruption began to spread at an unprecedented rate throughout the ship, making it overtake most of the deck close to the Leviathan. The Leviathan then proceeded to release Wheezers, a necromorph that exuded lethal fumes, which made oxygen levels on board critical, making it difficult for the remaining crew to survive. Following this, Isaac Clarke was briefed about the situation by Kendra Daniels, and with the help of Hammond, he was able to locate the Leviathan on the deck. Clarke successfully purified the air on the ship and was able to mix a poisonous substance in order to kill the creature. However, when the toxic substance failed to kill the creature, Claire took matters into his own hands and used force to kill the creature that had been weakened by the substance. Unlike the creature in Dead Space, the Leviathan in Lovecraft's work is a snake-like creature who is worshipped as the offspring of Cthulhu. At the same time, other sources consider him to be a giant starspawn or deep one. In another incarnation, the creature resembles a massive prehistoric fish with squid-like tentacles protruding out of its jaw, 4 fins with metal rings attached, and a large tail to swim. With its massive jaws, it could chomp down flesh, bone, wood, or even metal. Its jaws are big enough to swallow a creature like Dark Young completely. The creature never harms humans directly, but feeds on other marine animals and whales. Instead, it manipulates people into worshipping Cthulhu to release him. The Old One, Demon's Souls, 2020. The Old One is an ancient serpentine creature made out of branches and twigs. It has no facial features apart from a mouth with a pathway leading to a small pool containing the remnants of King Allant 7 and its own soul. It serves as the main antagonist of the game Demon's Souls. The creature is depicted as being immortal, where it cannot be killed but can only be put to rest for a few centuries before it rises again. The Old One is the oldest of the demons and is the progenitor of its kind. The exact origin of the Old One is not clear, but it has been referred to as an irrevocable poison sent by the gods to end the suffering of life. He would be awakened when anyone uses the soul arts, since he is the ultimate power source. The Old One is fed by creatures created by it that feed on living souls and help in satiating the immense hunger of their creator. The Old One is also the real form of the god worshipped by Saint Urbane and his followers, and suggested by the Talisman of Beasts. Taking a glimpse of the Old One, it is very evident that the creators were inspired by the works of of H.P. Lovecraft. The creature seems to be inspired by Cthulhu mythos, one of the finest works of Lovecraft. In typical Lovecraft fashion, the creature is something that cannot be described or understood and plays on the fears of the unknown. The Shambler, Darkest Dungeon. In Darkest Dungeon, the Shambler is an extremely dangerous creature that inhabits the darkest corners of the unknown. The game revolves around role-playing, where the player manages a group of heroes exploring these dungeons. It is an eldritch mini-boss that drops ancestral trinkets when killed. The Shambler has numerous eyes placed around its head and massive tentacles formed as its body. The Shambler fights always take place in no torchlight and are one of the more difficult bosses to handle. The Shambler also spawns Shambler tentacles constantly, which are not much of a threat when they are initially spawned but grow stronger over time and can be respawned. Unless the party is ready to kill the Shambler, it is advised not to spawn it since it is very difficult to escape from it, as it would show up at the next encounter. The name Shambler has been likely derived from the name Dimensional Shambler, a famous creation of Lovecraft. The Dimensional Shamblers are creatures from another dimension that attack their victim by hypnotizing them into believing that they are being dragged into a different dimension. However, the Shamblers don't resemble dimensional scramblers, who are humanoid creatures. Instead, they bear an uncanny resemblance with another of Lovecraft's creations, Shoggoth. Shoggoths are massive shapeless creatures with innumerable temporary eyes and are luminous in nature. Sadler, Resident Evil 4. Sadler, aka Lord Osmond Sadler, is the main villain in Resident Evil 4 and the leader of the religious cult Los Illuminados. Not much is known about his past, but he was a bioweapons research chief who got to know about the Las Plagas, a parasite that is worshipped by the Los Illuminados. Sadler had met Raymond Salazar sometime before 2004. Salazar was the descendant of the family that had confined the Las Plagas within their castle walls. Sadler manipulated a lonely Salazar into believing that his ancestors had done the wrong thing by confining Las Plagas, ultimately making Salazar undo the seal placed on the parasite. With the help of Salazar, Sadler hired miners to harvest the parasite, which seemed dead and fossilized. However, the Las Plagas developed within the miners when they breathed in the spores at the mines. With the help from Salazar, they worked on the parasite, going on to develop 3 new species. Recessive plagas were the ones that take over the host, Master Plaga, which allows the host to manipulate at will and control a host with recessive plagues, and the Queen Plaga that would produce more eggs asexually. Sadler used the parasite to transform the nearby villagers into followers, injecting them with the recessive type, and he also injected himself with the Master variant in order to control them. He then tried to conquer the world with the parasite. Sadler showed immense calmness, never losing his composure even when things did not go as per his plans. Sadler represents the quintessential mad cult leader as depicted by Lovecraft. The run-down village and crazy villagers with a secret to hide sounds like the premise of an excellent story by Lovecraft. Sadler believes that humans are but vessels for parasites. He ultimately manifests into a spider-like creature. Abrida, Daughter of the Cosmos, Bloodborne. Resembling a big slug with tentacles protruding from its back, Abrida is a relative of the Eldritch Great Ones. She has oval green eyes despite being a kin, who usually have protruding spherical eyes. It seems that her face has been split in half and is covered in fungal overgrowths around her head. She also doesn't seem to have a visible mouth, and even if she has one, it is covered by red flesh. In light of the fact that she is a conduit between the Church and the Great Ones, along with the title Daughter and her appearance, perhaps she is the first celestial child. While having gray-yellow blood like other kin, she is able to spit a red fluid that inflicts frenzy, similar to human blood. She guides the highest members of the Church in the ways of blood ministration. She was discovered by the Healing Church when she was left behind in the Old Labyrinth. Later, a choir was founded by the Healing Church to guard her and learn more about her, since she is the only Great One willing to coexist with humans. Abrida portrays the tragic side of Lovecraftian monsters. She is the remnant of the Great Ones who ascended the cosmos after coexisting with humans. She serves as the source of blood for the Healing Church and also facilitates their ascend. Her physical characteristics point out that she was once a human, signifying that she is stuck with humans even though she wants to ascend. The Elder God, Legacy of Cain. The Elder God is one of the main characters in the Legacy of Kain. In spite of his initial appearance as an ally of Raziel, helping him out over the progression of the game, he turned out to be an evil entity. By the end of the series, he is hailed as the cause of all of the evil and turmoil throughout history. He is depicted as being with tentacles and eyes, living deep below Nosgoth, serving as the hub for the Wheel of Fate. The Wheel of Fate refers to the mystical cycle of birth, death, and rebirth, which draws all souls to it. However, the Elder God was later accused of being a parasite on the Wheel of Fate by Raziel, and not the hub, albeit this has never been emphasized, but Elder God drew energy for the turning of the wheel. The Elder God in the Legacy of Kain is inspired by the Cthulhu mythos, from where the name has been directly drawn. The fact that the creature has numerous eyes and tentacles pays homage to the creation of Lovecraft. But what makes the Elder God special is the cosmic scale of the entity. Even the creature's dwelling of Nosgoth seems right out of Lovecraftian nomenclature. Black Guardian, Eternal Darkness, Sanity's Requiem. To guard the dominant ancient's essences, the Black Guardian was summoned by Pius Augustus to Ubali Cathedral. The Black Guardian has an uncanny resemblance to its master, more so than any other guardian. The beast has an unsatiable hunger for human flesh, and at the same time, is set to guard the artifact. Ubali had to resort to all means possible to feed the creature. He led monks and pilgrims to an impending doom under the facade to show them the hand of Jude. During the Great War, he also took wounded soldiers from field hospitals to feed the creature. The creature's hunger for human flesh is what kept it in the mortal world, and also allowed Pius to command it. The game draws heavily from the works of H.P. Lovecraft, where the extra-dimensional enemies and pseudo-historical link reflect the style of the madman himself, but takes the creative liberty to create something original. The creature depicts the despair that Lovecraftian gods instill. The Black Guardian is a very powerful creature, capable of destroying anything with a single blow, and is immune to all human weapons, and they only linger around to entertain themselves. Shabnegrith, Quake. Known as the Hell Monster, Shabnegrith is regarded as the supreme ruler of all monsters in Quake, and is the mother of all the monsters. Using the portal technology of the humans, she raised her own army to invade Earth. She is a creature with tentacles and 3 tendrils that point upwards. A creature with immense mystical powers, Shabnegrith has used her powers to rule over many dimensions. When the humans first invented slipgate technology, she sensed the presence of it and discovered the dimension. She planned on wreaking havoc on the planet with the help of 4 runes, but they were instead acquired by the player to access her pit to confront the creature. Shabnegrith is a creation of Lovecraft and is a part of Cthulhu mythos, where the creature is also referred to as the Black Goat of the Woods with 1,000 young. In the Cthulhu mythos, the beast is an outer goddess in the pantheon. She is the goddess of fertility, and unlike the game, the creature from the mythos doesn't have the 3 vertical tendrils. Orphan of Kos, Bloodborne. The Orphan is a tall skeletal humanoid and is said to be the progeny of Kos. The creature always screams during a fight with its fixed mouth and is always grinning. The Orphan has a cape which is made out of a thin membrane. This membrane transforms into a pair of wings when the creature transforms into its second form. The creature wields a mace made from a placenta that transforms into an axe in its second form. The Orphan can also use pieces of this placenta as an explosive. The Orphan usually ignores the player when it is first encountered in the game, but is enraged when the player approaches it. The Orphan of Kos is one of the best representations of Lovecraft's work, from its first appearance when it crawls out of its dead mother's body, to the ending where it diminishes into the void after being defeated. The Orphan of Kos does an amazing job of capturing the very essence of the shadow over Innsmouth. Marvelous verdict. In the modern day, where people have moved on to digital sources of entertainment, these games have done a fantastic job of keeping the work of Lovecraft relevant. It is especially commendable, considering most creatures imagined by Lovecraft are unfathomable, and to portray something of that caliber in a video game is extraordinary. If you enjoyed this video, please like and share this video, and for more exciting videos, please subscribe to our channel. Thanks, everyone!